Hi, welcome to Kitchen Chemistry with Essential Wholesale and Labs. I'm Tinica, and today we're going to be making an extreme moisture natural hair mask. So to start, you'll need a few ingredients. You'll need bentonite clay, apple cider vinegar, sodium PCA, and some hot tea of your choice. I chose peppermint tea for this, preservative blend, and your preservative booster, tetrasodium glutamate diacetate. So let's get started. One important note before you get started, clays can react with metal, so you don't want to be using any metal utensils or bowls while you're making this particular mask. And it's very easy to make. You simply add your bentonite clay, so we're going to use 1 cup of bentonite clay. And we're going to use 1 cup of hot tea. I chose peppermint tea, and I actually made 2 cups just so that I can adjust the texture of the mask if I want to as we're working with it. So I'm going to add 1 cup to start. So we'll just go ahead and pour that right in there. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar does some great things for your hair. First of all, it reduces the pH of your clay mask, which is ideal for hair. Your hair pH is lower than your skin pH. So you want it to be around 3.5 to 4 on the pH scale. So if you have handy pH strips, you can measure that. If not, just follow the formula and it'll work out just fine. And once you have those 2 ingredients, you simply want to mix your clay and fully hydrate it in with your ingredients. So we'll just spend a little bit of time mixing this together. And you kind of want it to be the texture of mud. To add to your hair. And this is a little thick, so I think I'm going to add a little bit more tea and thin it down a little bit. So you could add more tea. You could also add more vinegar if you'd prefer. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit more tea to thin down the texture of this a little bit more so it goes on my hair better. When you're applying this mask to your hair, you want to apply it to all of your hair and leave about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch from your scalp. That'll make rinsing this out much easier when you're ready to rinse it. Okay, I like that texture. So now I'm going to add my sodium PCA. So sodium PCA is your humectant in this particular recipe. What that means is that it will draw moisture into your hair, which is great for hydrating your hair, not so great for frizz. So what you're going to do after you do your hair mask is apply a nice occlusive, such as coconut oil would be fine, shea butter would be great, a leave-in conditioner such as our leave-in Detangler spray or even our jojoba spray lotion is a good option, especially for natural hair. I would choose the jojoba spray lotion. What that will do is it will help seal the moisture into your hair and prevent it from frizzing out by drawing moisture from your environment. So this is great if your hair is dry. This is a great hair mask to use. So we're simply going to add our sodium PCA. And again, mix that thoroughly into your mask. So sodium PCA, the reason that I chose that over glycerin, a lot of people choose glycerin, which is a great ingredient. It does the same thing. It's a humectant. However, sodium PCA is not, doesn't have the same effects as glycerin as far as making your hair feel dry. I've heard that quite a bit from people who are working on having natural hair, that glycerin tends to dry their hair out. And sodium PCA will actually add softness and, of course, with the right occlusive afterwards, will make your hair nice and hydrate it and moisturize. Okay, so now we have our beautiful mask, and to apply it, you're simply going to work the clay into your hair and create your nice curls as you're working the clay through your hair. So let your hair go ahead and form its natural ringlets and curls as you're working the clay through. You can leave it on overnight if you like. I don't particularly like sleeping with this mask in my hair, but you can certainly do that. You definitely want to leave it on for about 20 minutes to a half an hour before you rinse it out. Okay, so the final step in creating your hair mask, if you are not using this immediately, you need to preserve it. And clays are notoriously hard to preserve. They come from the earth. They're filled with all sorts of good stuff for our skin and for our hair, but they're also full of all kinds of things that can grow and cause problems for us. So you want a nice, strong preservative. Essential makes a preservative blend, and yes, it does have parabens, which are ideal for preserving clay, which you absolutely have to preserve well. So if you're not using this immediately, you will need to preserve it, or if you're going into market. And if you are going into market, please test your product for preservative efficacy. There are several labs across the United States that will do this testing for you. So that being said, we're adding our preservative, and we are adding 1/3 cup of the preservative blend, and then 1/4 cup of the preservative booster, the tetrasodium glutamate diacetate. So obviously this is going to thin your mask down quite a bit, so you may want to wait and add more water until you have all your ingredients added, and make sure that your mask is really the consistency you want. I did not do that, but I'm still happy with this consistency. And I think this is going to go into my hair just beautifully. I'm really excited to use this tonight. And there you have it. It's actually pretty easy to make and very easy to use. Simply apply to your hair and let it sit in there and rinse it out, and apply your nice occlusive afterwards to keep all that moisture in and keep all the moisture from the air out. So we hope you enjoyed this video. You can find links to all of the ingredients in the description of this video by clicking the More button directly underneath the video. Thanks for joining us today.